Hello, it's Mr. Me here, and today we're going to talk about property. More specifically, we're going to answer part 3 of the question for how much do you need to buy a property. If you remember, there are actually 4 main financial considerations when buying a property. And so in this video, we'll learn about the third consideration, which is what will my repayments be once I buy the property. So when people ask this question, they usually forget to smash the like button. So if you quickly do that now, it'll be all good. So you want to buy a property and you've watched my previous videos and you have a big enough deposit and the bank is willing to lend you the money. Now you'll need to figure out how much you'll be paying the bank back every month for borrowing that money. There are 3 main factors that go into how much you'll be spending every month. The first term is called term length. This is a fancy way of saying how many years you plan on taking in paying back the loan. The normal amount is usually around 25 to 30 years, but there are cases where it could be less. But keep in mind that if you do choose a term that is shorter, then that means you'll have to spend more money every month to pay that back because now you have less time. Now the next consideration is interest rate. Think of interest as a fee that you spend to borrow money. This is typically in the form of a percentage, and so the higher the interest percentage, the bigger the fee it will be to borrow that money. The typical interest rate at the time of recording, which is now, is around 2 to 4%. However, as you're browsing through different interest rates, you'll notice that they'll mention the term comparison rate. Comparison rate is effectively the interest rate plus all the other fees that are associated with selecting that particular loan. Thus, when you use a repayment calculator, if you want to be a bit more conservative with your calculations, go with the comparison rate rather than the interest rate. Now, the last thing that you should consider is the type of loan. They generally are categorized into 2 types: principal and interest and interest only. Principal and interest is where every time you pay back the bank, part of that payment will include the interest and the other part will contribute towards lowering the amount that you owe the bank. If you look at interest only, as the name suggests, you're only paying the interest. That means you're actually not lowering the amount that you owe the bank. Now you're probably wondering, why would anyone do this? In a nutshell, because you're only paying the interest, your repayments are a lot smaller, which is a contributing factor to many investment strategies. But that's a video for another time. Now, that was a lot of information, and so the best way to illustrate this is to go through an example. So let's pretend I have a girlfriend and we're getting married. Yay! The property we want to buy is $600,000. And since we're going to pay a 20% deposit, we only need to borrow the remaining 80%, which is $480,000. We managed to find a 30-year principal and interest loan from a bank where the comparison rate is 3%. This means that according to the calculator, our repayments will come to around $2,000 per month. You're probably wondering, is $2,000 a reasonable amount or not? Now, experts recommend that your mortgage should not be over 30% of your income. Ideally, the lower the percentage, the better, because you don't want to spend the next 30 years of your life struggling to live because your mortgage is just too big. So if we continue our scenario, since we both make $80,000 each, that makes our total income of $160,000 a year. Now, with a repayment of $2,000 a month, that works out to be $24,000 a year in mortgage repayments. Percentage-wise, this works out to be 15% of our total income, which is well below the 30% mark. And the beauty of this is that with the remaining 50% that we could theoretically have used to pay for a more expensive mortgage, we can use it to pay off the loan even faster without it being too much of a burden on our lifestyle. But there you go. That is how to check whether or not you'll be able to pay off the loan comfortably before you make the commitment in buying a property. Now, this is only the third aspect of the 4 considerations you should think about when purchasing a property. I'll go through the last consideration in the next few videos. If you want to watch the previous videos where I answer this question, I've put the links in the description below. And so if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And with that, I'll catch you in the next video.